What happens when vengeance collides with redemption, when loyalty is tested by betrayal, and when even an eagle becomes a godlike force. In Episode 5 of Peacemaker Season 2, titled Back to the Suture, James Gunn pulls us into the most emotional, brutal, and absurdly hilarious episode yet.
All I've ever wanted is to be a real hero.
You're one of us. We need you.
You ready for the next adventure, pal? I'm gonna pretend you found that.
Welcome back to Review, where we dive deep into the most cinematic stories on screen. I'm here to break down the raw emotion, shocking twists, and hidden layers of Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 5. This episode changes everything. Friendships shatter, enemies reveal their true power, and Chris Smith makes a life-altering decision that will shape the rest of the series. If you love exploring the heart of these stories, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss the next deep dive. Now let's unravel Episode 5, piece by piece. The Funeral and the Promise. The episode begins with a haunting flashback. Rick Flag Jr.'s funeral. A quiet, somber scene where grief is still raw. Amelia Harcourt sits silent, weighed down by secrets she can't share. Rick Flag Sr., played with steely conviction by Frank Grillo, approaches her. He demands answers about his son's death, desperate for the truth. Harcourt can't tell him that Chris Smith, Peacemaker himself, was the one responsible. Instead, she makes a promise, one that will echo into the present. The killer will pay. It's a vow rooted in guilt, in grief, and in a loyalty that's already being torn apart. This opening sets the emotional stage for what's to come, reminding us that the war between Chris and Flag Sr. is not just professional. It's deeply personal. Harcourt's betrayal or sacrifice. Back in the present, tension explodes. Harcourt seems to betray Chris, luring him into Argus's trap. But beneath the surface, there's more than meets the eye. She sends Chris a coded warning not to come. But Chris, stubborn, reckless, driven by both love and loyalty, ignores it. He arrives anyway, and what follows is chaos. As Argus agents close in, Harcourt chokes Chris out. On the surface, it looks like betrayal. But in truth, she saves his life. Instead of letting Bordeaux take a kill shot, she forces Chris unconscious, ensuring Argus can capture him alive. This moment is layered with heartbreak. Chris believes Harcourt sold him out. Harcourt, meanwhile, risks everything, her career, her reputation, even her safety, to protect the very man she once vowed to condemn. It's a devastating twist of perception, and it cements the emotional heart of the episode. Trust shattered, but loyalty running deeper than Chris realizes. The beating and the strategy. Captured, Chris finds himself face-to-face with Rick Flag Sr. for the first time. Vengeance has a body, a voice, and fists full of rage. Behind closed doors, Flag beats Chris mercilessly. Bloodied, broken, but refusing to fight back, Chris accepts the punishment. He carries the guilt of Rick Flag Jr.'s death, and in this moment, he almost seems to welcome the pain. But just when it seems Flag will go too far, Economos steps in from the shadows. By booking Chris into the system, Economos forces Argus's hand. If Chris disappears, Argus's corruption will be exposed. Even Fleury, usually cold and detached, admits it was the right move. This scene isn't just about violence, it's about chess. Every character is playing the long game. Flag hides his true mission behind revenge. Harcourt masks her loyalty with apparent betrayal. And Chris? He's caught in the middle, a pawn in a game where his guilt blinds him to the bigger picture. The rise of Eagly, the Primal Eagle. While Chris bleeds in a cell, another battle unfolds. One that's absurd, hilarious, and shockingly epic. Eagly, the beloved pet, the feathered sidekick, the unexpected star of the series. Argus hires Red St. Wild to hunt him down, believing in a prophecy. That Eagly is the Primal Eagle, a mythical alpha that rules over all birds of prey. First, it feels like a joke, a bizarre subplot. But then it happens. Red St. Wild lays a trap, firing at Eagly. But when the shot lands, the skies darken with wings. A flock of eagles descends, summoned by Eagly himself. What follows is pure carnage. Talons slash, wings beat, and Red Saint Wild is torn apart in a brutal, surreal spectacle. The absurdity is undeniable, but so is the power. Eagly is no longer just comic relief, he's a force of nature. James Gunn reminds us once again that even the strangest creatures can hold the deepest significance. It's hilarious, it's horrifying, and it cements Eagly as one of the most unique animal companions in the entire DC universe. Peacemaker's choice, the other world. Bruised and betrayed, Chris makes the most heartbreaking choice of his life. Convinced Harcourt no longer cares, believing his own world holds nothing for him but pain, Chris turns to the dimensional portal. He writes a farewell letter to Adebayo, leaves behind the portal panel, and takes Eagly with him into the alternate dimension. This world offers everything he's lost. His family alive, Harcourt waiting with open arms, a second chance at the life he's always craved. But is it real, or just an illusion? Chris doesn't ask. He just jumps. Closing the portal behind him, he cuts off his team, his friends, his family, the 11th Street kids. It's a devastating move, one that unites the team in his absence. Adebayo, Adrian, Harcourt, and Economos come together once again, determined to find Chris and bring him home. The family fractured is now reforged, but the fight ahead will be darker than ever. The larger game, Flag's true plan. Meanwhile, Rick Flag Sr. reveals the truth to Bordeaux. His crusade is not just revenge. His real mission is to prevent another dimensional rift. By letting Chris believe this war is personal, Flag masks his greater strategy. He knows Harcourt will side with Chris. He knows the 11th Street kids will resist. So he lets them. Every move is part of his larger plan. This revelation reframes everything. Flag isn't just a grieving father. He's a tactician, a master manipulator, and one of the most formidable enemies Peacemaker has ever faced. The stage is now set for a collision not just of fists and bullets, but of ideologies. Episode 5, Back to the Suture, is the turning point of Peacemaker Season 2. We've seen betrayal that wasn't betrayal, loyalty that looks like treason, and an eagle ascend into myth. But at its heart, this episode is about Chris Smith's greatest battle, the fight within himself, to choose between pain and healing, between guilt and forgiveness, between running away and standing tall. So let me ask you, if you had the chance to leave behind your world of pain and step into a dimension where everything was perfect, would you take it? Or would you fight to fix the world you already have? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and join me for the next deep dive here on Review. Until then, stay curious, stay passionate, and keep watching the stories that move us.